guys, welcome to this week's Friday Waffle, and it indeed is coming to you on a Friday. It is 17:33 on Friday the 10th of July. So how the hell are you? I hope you're all fine. Weather-wise, it's absolutely shit outside just for a change. Pissing with rain. I mean, it's been cold the last week. I've not got the heating on, but I should have because it's freezing. I mean, the 10th of July, we should be in the middle of a heat wave at the moment, you know, so absolutely pish. So, anyway, yeah, like I said, I hope you're all fine. I'm good. Had a mega busy week at work. It's kind of getting back to what it was, from about 6 months ago. I just literally don't have a second to myself during the day, but, you know, it's a double-edged sword because it means that the day just absolutely flies in. It really does. I mean, I work for about 8.5, 9 hours a day, and you know I can't believe where the time goes. It just absolutely flies in. So it does make for a quick day, and it makes for a quick week. So it's a weekend before you know it. But then conversely, you just wonder where all your time goes. I mean, how did I get to 52? I'm still technically 18. So anyway, I've not got a hell of a lot to talk about from a gaming perspective. I mean, have I been playing any games this week? Blimey, what have I been playing, if anything? Been playing a wee bit of the arcade cabinet. I was playing Space Invaders for the Main Meister High Score Kerfuffle. And I was actually watching. It was Andy Wood. He put out a video of his high score. I think he got. I can't remember. Apologies, Andy, if I've got this wrong. I think it was something like, was it 12,000? I think it was that he got, which doesn't seem like a high score. But trust me, if you've ever played Space Invaders, you'll know that even getting 3,000, which just happens to be the score I got, is actually a good effort. So to score 12,000 is phenomenal. But what kind of became apparent was, you know, to get a high score in Space Invaders, you've got to sort of play the system. I mean, there's the worst kept secret with Space Invaders, and apologies if I've got this wrong. You fire 22 shots, and then on the 20th, and you wait for the UFO to come out and you shoot it and you'll get 300 points. Then I think is it every 14 shots after that, so in the 15th shot you've got to shoot the UFO, you get 300 points. So basically it's about counting and harvesting the score, and it doesn't really make for an interesting game, you know, because the whole point of Space Invaders is just about shooting stuff. It's not about counting shots and then waiting. So it's quite interesting to see kind of Andy doing that. But yeah, it's not a game I'm going to rush back to play just because of that. I mean, it's, you know, the whole point of Space Invaders for me is about just trying not to die. It's not really about trying to get a high score. Though technically it is about getting a high score, but you know, you've got to play it properly. Anything else? I don't think I have. You know that I've not even played. I bought The Last of Us 2 about 2 weeks ago, and I have played it for about 20 minutes. The annoying thing is, my daughter wanted to play it with me. Well, we're going to kind of, you know, take turns to play the damn thing, and like I said, I've only managed to kind of get her to sit down for 20 minutes to play it, and she's just been she's basically taken over the VR. So I've not used that for a couple of weeks. Don't get me wrong, I still love the VR, and I'm still, you know, glad I've got it, but I just need to try and kind of somehow shoehorn it out my daughter's hands, because she's just taken over the thing. She loves it, but you know what, at least it's getting used. So anything else gaming wise, like I said, I don't think I've been playing any games at all. I haven't, no, I really haven't at all. Don't know what my week's done. I don't know where my week's actually gone. From a YouTube perspective, I have... What have I been doing? I did have an interview with 3 of the lads from the Ted Dabney Experience. Now, you will get to see the video. I think I'm going to put it out on Monday. I did put a little kind of teaser video out. Yeah, I did put a little teaser video out on Monday, or yesterday I think it was, about the the video. I recorded the video, was it yesterday? What day was it? Yeah, I recorded it on Wednesday actually. Went really well, great fun, good bunch of guys, so that will be going out next week. And that's kind of been it. Honestly, I can't for the life of me think where this week has actually gone. No idea, don't know. One of the big things, listen to me, probably the biggest announcement from my YouTube channel would be, I was talking to a few of the guys on Discord, and I think it was it Mappy24, Ian, my mate Ian. He said to me, why don't you do a 12-hour stream of China Miner for charity? Then I thought, well, that's not a bad idea actually. Well, I'm not saying it playing China Miner for 12 hours would be a good idea, but I thought, you know what, why don't I do it? Let's do it. So I've kind of mentioned it, and the response has been fantastic. You guys seem to want it to happen. So it is going to happen. What I want to try and do, the whole point of it is, it's going to be me playing. I don't think I'm going to play China Miner for 12 hours. That would just be ridiculous. But what I'm going to do is, because we're hopefully going to raise a few quid for charity, I'm going to play some games that I really don't want to play. Namely V, possibly a bit of Rainbow Islands. There's a couple of people who you probably know, and I'm not going to mention them. I'm going to try and rope in one particular young man to play a bit of Rainbow Islands, do his bit for charity. So he's still to agree to it. But what I'm planning to do is have the live stream. I think it'll be a Sunday, probably Sunday from 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 at night, something like that, because I really don't want to be playing it till like 10 o'clock at night. So I think an early start. Oh, knackered. I think an early start is the way forward. So probably 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 at night. And yeah, that's kind of how it's going to work. It'll be me playing games. I would love to think that you guys are going to drop in and just keep me kind of entertained, keep me company. Now, you know, as far as raising money goes, there's been a few people who've promised, you know, some really nice sums of money, which is fantastic. You know, I'm not going to go naming any names, but please understand that, you know, it's a bit of fun. If I can raise a few quid for charity, then great. But please do not feel that you have to donate. Absolutely not. You know, the most important thing is you kind of watch it, jump in and out for an hour or so, whatever. If you can manage more, then great. If not, just to say hello, keep me going. You can take the piss out of me a wee bit. I'm absolutely fine for that. But as far as giving to charity, you know, if you want to throw in 50 pence, a fiver, a tenner, a quid, whatever, great. Absolutely every penny is appreciated. Now, the charities that I am going to support, now to let you understand, my girlfriend, she works through in Stirling, and the company she works for, it's kind of funded through the government. She helps charities, and she helps companies to be registered as charities. So she knows the charities that get a lot of backing, and she also knows the charities that don't get very much funding. Now, she said the biggest charity that she's aware of that really gets no help at all is the Salvation Army. Now, I am I wouldn't say I'm an atheist as such, but I don't do religion, and I know some people say, well, you know, it's a charity, whatever. Not a charity, it's a kind of a religion, I suppose it is technically. My granny, who's sadly departed, my granny, my grandpa, my auntie, they were all lovely people, beautiful people, you know, really were kind-hearted, and they used to go to the Salvation Army. And I used to go along sometimes as a kid, just, I would go to stay with my granny, she would take me along, and I would just play with toys, whatever it was. But the Salvation Army, to me, they go out on the streets on a Saturday night, early Saturday morning in Glasgow, Edinburgh, Leeds, Birmingham, you name it, throughout the UK. I mean, I think they probably even go out abroad as well, I'm not sure, but these are the guys that go out and they help society's most vulnerable people. People that are not got a bed for the night, people that have, maybe been subject to domestic abuse, whatever. Basically, people that they've got nowhere to turn. They are there to provide a bed for the night, bit of, bowl of hot soup, cup of tea, whatever. They do, as far as I'm concerned, they do a real hands-on, which I think is just fantastic. A few people have mentioned that they had, apparently the Salvation Army did not tolerate lesbian, gay rights, etc. Now, I did have a quick look at that. Apparently that was the case, but from what I gather on Google, the Salvation Army themselves have said that that's not the case. They do not differentiate between anybody's sexuality or sexual standing or whatever it is, so I'm happy that the Salvation Army are a good cause. So what I'm planning to do is have a Just Giving page which will be set up for the Salvation Army. And if you want to give online, you can donate to the Salvation Army. If you want to pick what charity, well, not pick what charity, there's another 2 causes which I'm going to tell you about in just a second. So if you want to give to the Salvation Army, you can do it through Just Giving. They will also, I think they give gift aid as well, so which is really, really good. The 2 other, they're not even charities, the 2 other causes that I would love to give money to. The first one is called Sundach, and it's part of the NHS, but it's a little home about literally 5 minutes from where I stay, and they have maybe about a dozen kids, young children who are terminally ill, and the kids can go and stay there for, some of them are long term, some of them maybe go in for a couple of days at a time, and it's basically, it provides support to these kids, but it also provides a lot of support to the families, because I could imagine looking after a disabled child would be very, very difficult. It would be stressful, even from a money point of view, and it would be difficult, and this place provides somewhere that the family can drop off their kid for maybe a couple of days and just give them a bit of kind of me time, give them a bit of support. I think they're there for emotional support. I don't think they help from a financial point of view, because these guys don't have a lot of money. So although it is part of the NHS, they do not, they'll get obviously funding for certain things, but over the years I've raised, I've probably raised a couple of £1,000 for the Sundach, and each time I go down, I always make a point, I go down with a wodge of cash, loads of money type thing, just an envelope stuffed with cash, and they always let me in, and they'll give me a little tour of the home just to show me what's happened and what they're currently doing. The last time the money, I think I raised about £700, and it was going towards a wheelchair swing for the kids. The year before that, it was the money I raised went towards, it was what do you call it? It's a room, a sensory room. It's basically a little room that's darkened, and it's got like a sort of soft bed the kids can lie on. There's various lights, and it's a room that the kids can go in, and it can help stimulate them. I've met a few of the kids, and I have to say, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but I found it quite hard to keep my shit together. Basically, I was very, very quite emotional when I came out. The first time I went in, I took my daughter with me, and she was the same. You come out thinking, fucking hell, what am I complaining about? I have got nothing to complain about. My life is good. And there's these poor kids. I mean, there's a couple of them. One of them's about 20. I think she's actually passed away, sadly. But yeah, these kids, they just have a big smile on their face all the time. They don't ask for anything, and it makes you realise how bloody privileged and lucky you are that you can walk, that you can talk, that I'm 52. Most of these kids will probably be lucky if they hit their teens. So I want to give some money towards that. And the final one is, again, it was my girlfriend asked me if I could pop down to this place. It was about a year ago, to pick up some documents. And basically what it is, it's a community centre, and it's been pulled together. It's run purely by volunteers. I mean, these guys get nothing. They get nothing for doing it. It's all voluntary work. Voluntary work? I can't even talk properly. It's all volunteers that basically run the thing. And I went down there, and from what I can see, I think it's mentally and disabled people. It's not just kids. There's children, there's adults, and it's basically a place where these guys can go down on a daily basis. They can have probably a bit of lunch. They can meet their friends. They can feel protected. It's somewhere where they can hang about. I mean, there was a wee guy. He was doing his DJ shit. He had his record deck, and there was all these kids that were dancing to the music that he was playing. There was some playing table tennis. I think they even had a Nintendo Wii set up as well. So this is a little drop-in centre for these people to just go along on a daily basis, just to feel wanted and feel part of society. And I think that is fantastic. And again, my girlfriend told me that it's little little organisations like that generally get absolutely bugger all. They get nothing, you know what I mean? And as much as Cancer Research and the Heart Foundation and Action Aid, they're all fantastic charities. They do get a lot of funding, whereas these small charities, and like I say, that Sundach Children's Respite Centre, they don't get a lot, and like I says, the Salvation Army don't get a lot of support. So that's the three causes I want to raise money for. Anything done online will go to Salvation Army. Now, the reason the other two I can't do online is purely and simply because Sundach, because they're not a charity, they cannot register on Just Giving. And the other one, the little drop-in centre, they just simply they're not big enough. They're not a registered charity. It's just a group of people, really kind-hearted people with huge big hearts that have pulled us together. So what I'm planning to do is, if you want to donate online to the Salvation Army, you can do so. Not yet, because I've not set the thing up. But if you want to give money to Sundach or the little drop-in centre, then what you can do, and hopefully you trust me well enough, you can either give the money straight to me. I can give you my bank details, or else I can give you my PayPal account. Hopefully you'll do it friends and family, because that way PayPal don't take any kind of cut, because they take a percentage of it. So that's the kind of 2 ways you can donate. Well, 3 ways. You can bank account to me, PayPal to me, and I said I will just physically take the cash out, put it in an envelope. I'm going to split the money in half between Sundach and the little drop-in centre, and I will go down and I'll get my daughter to come with me, and I'll take a photograph of me handing the money over. But again, obviously the online side of things for the Salvation Army, the money will automatically get kind of handed over. So that's the plan, guys. That's the 3 charities I want to do. I just think it's going to be a good thing. Like I says, please do not feel compelled that you have to give. It's just a bit of fun. If you can spare 50 pence, a quid, whatever, then fantastic, Right, so anyway, enough of my charity raising fund thing, whatever. I'm just going to batter on with some questions now. So let's have a look at last week's comments William White, I would love to have had a PC Engine back in the day. I remember seeing the review of it in Crash, and it was wowed. The local game shop had an import one that was running, and it was amazing. This was when I still had a Spectrum, and the jump in quality was amazing. Shame it never did as well as it should have. I guess the big markets in Japan and the USA were still happy with the NES Famicoms. The machine was mature at this point, and the big companies like Capcom and Konami were mastering the hardware, and the games were excellent. And then the Mega Drive was just round the corner, which was a significant step up. The PC Engine just managed to fall through the cracks. Amazing machine though. I love the games. I love the console design, which was very Spectrum-ish in form and size, and I wish I had one back then. You and me both, William. I'm very, very lucky. I've now got two. I've got a PC Engine, and I've also got the PC Engine Duo. Fantastic little machine. Ox, the one machine I regret selling and would love to get my hands on again is the flat Commodore 128. I sold it in 1986 to get my hands on an Atari ST-M from Silica Shop. Couldn't do bugger all with it for 3 months until I could afford a separate 3.5-inch disc drive. Of course, the Atari, I think it was Atari ST-FM had the built-in floppy, whereas the M didn't have it. It's funny, I've never had a hankering to get a Commodore 128 until Mr. Lacosa mentioned it. That's kind of his holy grail machine. I would like to have it just for kind of completeness sake. They go for silly money. I don't think I'll ever own one unless somebody was going to give me one, because they do go for kind of daft money. There's not really enough Commodore 128 games, as far as I'm concerned, that would justify me buying one, paying a lot of money for it. I think they go for something like 300-400 quid, which is just insane. Excuse me a second. But yeah, nice machine. Right, moving on. Milthy Swinbuckle. Hello again, Main Meister. 2 questions for the next waffle. I was watching a Panther UK video, the one about how some people think Commodore 64 graphics are too brown. Yeah, if you've not watched it, go and watch it. It's an interesting video, and it actually it just goes to prove that there was only, I think, 2 colours of brown, possibly. And, it's just one of these things that people say, and it's not actually true. And then a part of the video, he mentioned that he doesn't particularly like QT graphics. I too feel the same way, and I know that Lacosa and I believe yourself feel the same as well. In fact, I don't think there are many gamers of our generation that like those games with pissy, horrible, puke-inducing cute graphics. So, my 2 questions are, why, in your opinion, did so many games use this type of awful art? I don't know, Milthy. I mean, I think the early days, it was all about Space Invaders. I'm trying to think. I wouldn't even know. I suppose, Nintendo probably had quite a bit to do with it, because they brought out, Super Mario Brothers, and then they brought along, I was going to say invented, they introduced us to Yoshi and I can't even the guy with the mushroom head. What's he called again? I can't remember what he's called. I'm bloody hopeless with names. But there are so many. Yeah, Nintendo kind of kickstarted, I think, the sort of the cutesy game. Then Bubble Bobble came along in arcades, and it was one of these things. They just started to come out, and before we knew it, we were absolutely inundated with cutesy games. I mean, like Rainbow Islands, this is Bubble Bobble, and then the Mega Drive, SNES, Commodore Amiga. We just got absolutely drowned with all these cutesy kind of platform games. I'm not adverse to playing one. It's not the graphics that annoy me, though it does me. You know what? I don't think it is. I don't think it's the cutesy graphics that annoy me so much. It's just it's the game mechanic of Rainbow Islands that bugs me. But then I'm not a fan of the New Zealand story. I'm not a fan of Bubble Bobble. So possibly it is that. I don't know what it is. What were you asking again? Why did so many games use this type of awful art? I think the bottom line is it was popular. People, video games, I need to remember that I was, and possibly yourself, we were kind of old when video games came out. I was 18 years old when I first got my computer, or maybe 17 actually. Yeah, probably 17, 16. Yeah, I think I was just turned 17. So I was kind of an adult, whereas a lot of kids got a Spectrum C64 for their 10th birthday. And so the market was very much geared towards young kids. And so, you know, Sonic the Hedgehog came out, and it sells. Sonic the Hedgehog sells video games. Mario sells video games. I mean, nowadays there's an equal balance. There's an equal balance between your Call of Duties and, you know, Metal Gear Solids, but then you've also still got your cutesy games as well. So I think it sells, and I think that's probably the bottom line. Number 2, can you think of a game that may have been good but was spoiled by some artist with a capital F in this case, ruining it by giving it a super cute touch? Artist with a capital F. I'm not quite sure what you're getting at. I don't know if you mean the wee swear word. Can I think of a game that may have been good but was spoiled because it had super cute graphics? I mean, I don't know. You know what? I think if you were to take I'm contradicting myself here. If you were to take the game mechanics from Rainbow Islands and replace it with robots, would I enjoy it more? Probably. Yeah, possibly. I can't actually think of a game that I would have played, but because it was cutesy graphics, can't think of any offhand. I mean, I think there's, you know, there are some games like Metal Gear Solid, Metal Slug. The whole, a massive part of the appeal is like shooting people. Now you want to be able to shoot human beings and see blood, you know. And I'm not going to go postal just because I play games like that. I understand that video games are just fun, but there's something nice about shooting like a person. Killing robots or little cutesy animals just doesn't have the same appeal, possibly. But I can't think of any one particular game. But to kind of turn your question upside down, like I says, if you were to replace the robots, that's something I need to ask Mr. Lacosa what he would do. Would he play Rainbow Islands if it had robots and machine guns? Possibly. I think I might well do actually. Anyway, P.S. Great waffle by you and Panther last week, although when I first saw the two of you side by side my monitor, I had to give my head a shake just to make sure I was not suffering from double vision. Yes, anyway, cheers Milfy. Right, next, down the rabbit hole. Hi Alan, apologies for no questions last week. Canada Day. So Canada Day was distracting me. I didn't even know that was a thing, Kevin, but no worries at all, buddy. A little while ago, our Vancouver Retro Gaming Expo, I can't even say it, Expo went virtual, with talks hosted online and dealers selling their games on a website. And I thought, what's the point? Would you attend a Play Blackpool show if it was viewable from your living room over the internet? I suppose I would. If you're saying attend, I mean, I wouldn't physically attend it, Kevin. I don't know. I mean, I would be interested to watch, like, the talks. They could certainly be done over the internet, but would I pay money to watch it? Probably not. No, I don't think so. I think there's only so much you can do when it comes to kind of virtual things. Secondly, what's your favourite beat-em-up, as I am always looking for an alternative to Final Fight? Now, you're talking to the wrong guy here, Kev. I'm not a beat-em-up fan. It's a genre game I would absolutely love. I would love to say that I love it, and I think to myself I should love the games, but to me they're just button mashers. So my kind of beat-em-ups are very, very much old school. I mean, they're not old school, they're positively ancient. Wave the Exploding Fist. Maybe a bit international karate and Yer Kung Fu. Exploding Fist and Yer Kung Fu are my favourite. If I was going to go for a modern beat 'em up, It would have to be the modern, what do you call it, incarnations of Mortal Kombat. I think, is it over there somewhere? My daughter bought Mortal Kombat 11, or was it 10? I can't remember. And the graphics are just unbelievable. And they're really sick. But again, you're probably thinking, God, this guy's a bit crazy. But you know what? Again, I'm able to differentiate. I know it's only video games, but there's a lot of fun seeing somebody get their heart ripped out or seeing them getting their skin pulled off. It's good fun. So Mortal Kombat for me, or Yeah Kung Fu, or Way of the Exploding Fist. And thirdly, Sega have just announced that the Astro City Mini, which houses a lot of their arcade games in a small package, much like the Neo Geo Mini. I saw a couple of people talking about it. I'm not, when I say I'm not a fan of these, if they were done properly, I may well buy one. I mean, I don't have the Neo Geo Mini. The thing that puts me off these little things is the screens are tiny. And, you know, as someone who has now got to start wearing glasses because I physically can't see the screen, if it's got a small screen, now someday, I heard someone mention a 3-inch screen. If that's the case, forget it, not interested. If it was going to come out in a decent sized screen with maybe like a 19-inch monitor, then possibly, but if it's a kind of little mini system, not interested at all. And finally, there's been a talk about Harry Potter recently, but I'm curious if you've ever played one of the Harry Potter games. Not interested in Harry Potter, Kev, in the slightest. My ex did force me to watch the Harry Potter films, and I wasn't a fan of them. I kind of look upon, again, maybe this is like the cutesy kind of graphics thing, I just kind of think Harry Potter's for kids, but I know a lot of adults are in it. Interesting anecdote, I used to share an office and have played squash with J.K. Rowling's husband. There you go. So technically you can tell somebody that your mate was friends with J.K. Rowling's husband. There you go. Anyway, Kev, thank you very much, very much, Squire. Next is Ye Oldie Gamer Steve. Great waffling again. I have a question for you. What was the most useless and crap peripheral you ever bought? I think mine is a DK-Tronics Spectrum light pen. It never even worked. The most useless and crap peripheral that I've ever bought. Oh, let me think. I'm not one that tends to buy peripherals. I mean, I've bought disc drives, joysticks. I mean, I bought what the hell was it? I bought the freeze frame cartridge for the C64, which was great because it basically allowed you to what do you call it? I'm just going to turn this phone down because I know what's going to happen. There we go. Just turn that down. Yeah, what I was going to say, I bought the freeze frame cartridge for the C64. Any peripheral that I've bought that doesn't really work. I did buy a Mega Drive arcade stick, and it's a bit pants. It was an original Sega one. It's not the greatest. Anything else? Can't think of anything offhand. No, I don't think so. I've never really been one for like gimmicky kind of peripherals, so I can't think of anything. Nah, I say possibly the Sega arcade stick for the Mega Drive, but it's probably down to the fact that it's second hand and it's probably worn out a wee bit. But anyway, cheers for your question, Steve. William White, haha, the porno bush. There was always a reader's wife or escort to be found in the bushes back in the 1970s and 80s. Those were the days. I always wondered why and how porno mags survived the rise of the internet. Apparently they survived purely because of Prisoners, which is a huge customer base. Interesting. Yeah, anyway, right, Highlander, my first computer was a Amiga 500, then a PC. Console wise, it was an N64, then a PS1, then the Dreamcast, followed by the PS3 and PS4. The Amiga is still the best system I've ever owned, even to this day. Yep, no question about that one. Panther UK, talking in the video about buying duplicate games, I totally forgot that I bought the remastered Metal Gear Solid collection for the PS3 when my backwards compatible one went tits up. Still haven't played any of them all the way through yet. For next week, going with the story of the air fryer and freebies aside, what's been your greatest retro gaming bargain? It's simple one, 100%. No, you know what? No, it's going to be split even 50-50. First one was my Vectrex. My first Vectrex that I got for £100, and it included, I think, was it 10 games boxed with the overlays. I got it for, I think it was £100. That was maybe about 10 years ago. And the other one was I bought an Atari 800, the original, not the XL, the original Atari 800. I bought that. I got a Atari 400, a disc drive, tapes, joysticks, and I got all of that for, was it £80? Now the Atari 800 on its own goes for about £200-300 now, so definitely, yeah, fantastic. Anyway, Panther, thank you. And just got one question to go, and it's Colin Jones. There was a nice bit of friendly banter coming across in this one, which made it a joy to watch. Not that the others aren't, but you know what I mean. Yeah, Colin's just referring to, obviously, I had Panther UK in for the Waffle last week. First question, what are your thoughts on the upcoming release of the VIC-20, which is a limited edition of the C64 Maxi, focused around the earlier computer? Yeah, I heard about that, Colin. Am I interested in buying it? I don't know. It would have to be cheap. I'm certainly not going to, you know, I wouldn't spend £100 on it, because it is just the same computer. The C64, you know, the big one, has VIC-20 emulation built in, and so I don't really see the point of buying another £100 computer, which I can already do. If it was £50, I may buy it just to have to say, oh yeah, I've got a VIC-20, but nah, I'm not really interested unless it's going to be that cheap. But I can't, since it's going to be the same hardware, I don't see it being that cheap. I think it's going to probably be the same price. It's £109, something like that. But yeah, given that the C64 Maxi can already emulate VIC-20s, I'm not really interested. And second question is, Panther UK said, as we've mentioned in previous waffles, modern games just don't seem to have the same feeling as older games. But what do you think about the many quirky indie games that are available? I've not really kind of got involved or experienced many of the indie games, Colin, but since I've got this CoinOps thing that I've downloaded, it's got a lot of indie games in it, and you know, I have bought quite a few on Steam as well. And I mean, indie games are absolutely fantastic, because the problem we've got nowadays is no company is willing to take a risk. They don't want to take a chance on bringing out some kind of unusual game. So things like Sensible Soccer, or you know, was it Papa Rappa the Rapper, or unusual games, I don't think we're going to see that anymore. Certainly not in mainstream games, and that's a shame, because they don't want to take a risk. And I can kind of understand it, because games nowadays run to hundreds of millions of pounds of budget, and they're not going to take a risk on a game that may not sell. But the wonderful thing about indie developers is the fact that they will take a chance. They will bring out games that you'll never see. I remember seeing a game, and I've never seen it getting released. It was a sheep herding simulator. And it wasn't written by Jeff Minter, but I had a shot of that down at, I think it was Play Glasgow, and I thought that was fantastic. So there's lots of fantastic indie games that are coming out. I mean, there was a sequel to Uridium by Rob Hewson. That's really good fun. There's lots of kind of twin stick shooters as well, so lots of fantastic games. So I'm a massive fan. Whilst I don't have many of them, I've not bought a lot of them, I am a big fan. I think it's fantastic that there are little companies that can go out and they can bring out original ideas, you know, because it just makes this kind of hobby really interesting. So anyway, listen guys, I'm going to call it a day. I've got to be somewhere very, very shortly. So apologies for a very, very short Friday Waffle. I will be along on Sunday, 7 o'clock tonight, and it's Atari Arcade Edition, so please join me then. I will give you more information about the date of the 12-hour live stream. I just want to talk to Mr. Lacosa and Panther and get a few ideas about how I can actually do it, because what I want to do is I want to have a live stream where I'm playing games and also be able to have one or two guests. One or two of you guys have mentioned you'd like to kind of drop in. If I can figure out from a technical point of view how or if that's possible, then we'll get that done. So anyway guys, just remains for me to say I hope you have a great weekend, and as always, thank you very, very much for watching.